Most investors ask, how much can I make on this deal? But I start with a very different question. After years of underwriting hundreds and thousands of deals, both as a lender and as an investor, I have learned that good outcomes are rarely the result of clever modeling. They come from discipline, decision making, and execution. So, today I want to walk you through the simple framework that I personally use to decide whether a deal is worth the risk before I even look at projected returns. My decision framework has three parts: downside protection, cash flow resilience, and optionality. If a deal fails any one of these, I slow down or walk away. So let's focus on downside protection first, which is one of the first things that I evaluate because ultimately we want to protect the principal. I want to understand how I can lose money before thinking about how I can make it. What breaks first under stress? Examine all the sensitivity assumptions. Do I have margin of safety in terms of break even occupancy? Where the debt service coverage lies? Risk is not the probability of loss, but the severity of loss when things go wrong, which is why understanding the downside is extremely important. The second filter is cash flow resilience, especially since I am a cash flow investor. Cash flow buys time, cash flow buys optionality. And so for me, cash flow matters even more than IRR reality. A weak cash flow can magnify the stress. And the cash flow, if God forbid everything goes wrong, gives you downside protection. Typically, in the deals that I do, 30% of the return is generated by cash flow and 70 from the upside. Number three is understanding the optionality and the exit strategy. So I usually ask, what choices do I still have if conditions change? Is it refinance flexibility, especially if it includes cash in refi? Is it the optionality to hold longer versus selling? And so it's important to see if your debt structure allows for it via the tenor or various exit extension options. Understand the capex pacing. Why rigid plans increase risk on a deal reminds me of an example of the deal that we bought a while back. The units were individually parceled, and so initially we bought it as a flip. Market turned, we had to pivot, and that created optionality for us to explore a refi. Both as multifamily and as a single family, and ultimately we ended up choosing the path that we thought was best to protect the investment. And so that optionality is what separates a plan from a gamble. In conclusion, these are the three frameworks, the 3 points that may not make every deal exciting, but they will help dramatically reduce the feeling of regret. If you want to learn how to think about risk before returns and make decisions with clarity instead of hope, subscribe here. That is what this channel is all about.